guys, I got some exciting news. I finally got a camera. So, I got the camera because I was getting really sick and tired of having that graininess, that sandiness in my videos because of my computer. So I got this camera, and now I can use the computer for editing and this for filming. So, today my video is going to be free agency. I'm going to start the series. And how I'm going to do this, I'm not doing the two divisions like I did last year. I'm just going to do one because I'll have a little more time to plan these out and really not have these rushed out like I did last year. We're going to start off with the Buffalo Bills in the AFC East. And it's the same thing as last year. The top three needs along with their top free agent. And for the Bills, their top need is at corner. They drafted a kid in the first round, and White looks like he's going to be a starter for years to come in this league. The problem is they don't have anybody next to him, and they really don't have a lot of depth because they have three guys that are going to be free agents. So they either need to re-sign some of those guys, or a combination of re-signing and signing other players. Or maybe they go back to the draft, maybe pick one in the first or second round. Who knows? The quarterback position, yeah, they need to figure this out. Now, all indications is that Tyrod Taylor is not the future there. If he's not, then they need to figure out who is. They could go after Kirk Cousins, or they could wait till the draft. There might be a quarterback that they like that could fall, maybe not in the first round, but maybe in the second round, because this looks like it could be a deep class for quarterbacks. It looks like. I'm only saying looks like, I'm not saying that it will be. More on that in a future video. And defensive tackle, and the reason for that, they got rid of Marcel Darius, and Kyle Williams is a free agent, and that leads me to Kyle Williams. That's their top free agent because he's been there for so long. He was a cornerstone of that team for so long, or has been a cornerstone of that team for so long. Don't know if he's completely gone, but he is 34 years old, so what are the Bills going to do with this? This guy has been a star for them for a long time. What do they do with him? And that's really where the defensive tackle position starts. They need to find some starters. They need to figure out who's going to be on that team next year, the year after that, and years after that. They have to figure this out. But those three, probably the biggest needs. Kyle Williams is definitely their biggest free agent. Next up, the Miami Dolphins. Their top three needs. I'm not getting into Tannehill because I just don't know what the Dolphins are thinking, and I don't want to be the brain trust for them. You just don't know if they are going to keep him or not. I'm just mentioning that, so that's why I'm not mentioning quarterback. But I do have corner as well, and free safety. They need to shore up that secondary. That secondary was really not where you need to be a playoff team. They need to shore up that secondary. That starts with the corner position. Got to find some starters there. And the linebacker position, they do have Kiko Alonso, but one of their other starting linebackers who's been a solid player, I'm not going to try to say his name because I know I'm going to mess it up, but you know who I'm talking about. I just dropped my pencil. Then they need to figure out what they're going to do with the linebacker position, whether they're going to re-sign him or try to sign somebody else, but they definitely need to shore up that secondary. And their top guy, come on, really, it's Jarvis Landry. Now, he may be too expensive for them, he may not be. They may franchise him, they may not. It all depends on what Miami wants to do and is willing to give him. Okay, we don't know what they're planning on doing with Jarvis Landry, but we're going to find out when the league year starts. The New England Patriots. This one is a little tough, but another one with the corner position because Malcolm Butler is a free agent, and all signs point to him leaving New England, so they're going to need somebody at the other starting position next to Stephon Gilmore. Linebacker, that's another one. The reason. Dante Hightower was hurt, and really that linebacker position for New England struggled, to say the least. Well, Mayer retired about a few years ago, and they traded Collins 2 seasons ago. So when they got rid of those guys, you really don't have the starters there. And once Hightower went down, it started to show. So get another starter or two at the linebacker position. And finally, I'm going with backup quarterback. because they traded Jacoby Brissett and Jimmy Garoppolo. Brian Hoyer, he's okay, but they need a guy that can come in and win games if Brady goes down or he starts to show his age. We don't know what's going to happen with Brady, okay? These things just happen. You don't see it coming. They just happen from time to time, all right? We don't know what's going to happen with Brady, so they need to protect themselves. They need to have a backup quarterback. And their top free agent, I could go with Butler, but I went with Nate Soldier. The reason? Soldier is a solid tackle in this league. All right, when you watch him play, you don't hear his name called that often because he does his job. He's one of the more underrated tackles in this league, I think. So, New England, they got to re-sign him. And finally, we have the New York Jets. And for their needs, first one's wide receiver. A couple years ago, they had Brandon Marshall and Eric Decker, both of whom had 1,000 yards in a season. But they got rid of both of them. And now the receiving core is one of the worst in the league. And their top receiver just got in trouble with the law. So they may keep him, they may not. They need to figure out what they're going to do with that wide receiver position. Defensive line, Muhammad Wilkerson may be gone because he's been too much of a problem lately for the Jets. So be on the lookout for Wilkerson. Even with him, they still have to shore up that defensive line. And the offensive line. They have got to shore up that offensive line. It's the same thing with wide receiver position. A few years ago, they had 2 Pro Bowlers on that line. Now, that line is probably one of the worst in the league. And I'm only saying that to be nice. And their top free agent, Demario Davis. This guy has been a solid linebacker for them ever since they took him in the 3rd round. And he's still 29, so he still has a few years left. So I think they should re-sign him. And that's it, guys. Alright, this was a little struggling because I haven't done a video in a while. This will get better as I get used to this camera. Alright, see you next time.